Also, Sanjay Chudam Soji Chunamda Changshu Badunda Ninja Soji Daji Chitu Yibe Sodamji Jona Benji Sanjay Drupor Sanjay Chudam Soji Doni Jab Soji Daji Soji Be Sodamji Dola Benji Sanjay Drupor Sanjay Chudam Soji Chunamda Changshu Badunda Ninja Soji Daji Soji Be Rola Page Sanjay Druber Doni, Sudu, Jason, the Canadian, and Dragon, China, the Mountain Jazo. So one day, Washington, Hundred, so Ramjan Solo, not the make some 200 version, Joe, the Tabian, Singing Shinian, Shogi, Joshi, shows. Okay, in English, please.
In the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly, I take refuge in until I attain enlightenment. Through the merit of practicing generosity and so on, I attain Buddhahood for all the sentient beings.
Thank you. It's pretty hard. Can you open this?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, there's you open. I think that's good. Okay, that's good. Thank you. Oh, so now. Samin Yomar, Samin Yomar.
Hi.
Due, hola, so tiny di.
Go there.
Do. Goya go to that in Chiran Sigi, ne. Chiran Yugamedoa.
Selman, yeah, right.
Gentlemen, you don't think you a child, Yamar.
Yimba.
Let's go.
You're open.
Oh, they do. Tado.
Yes,
Tado Shashaginda.
Oh,
okay. Tak to check that drink pageant. So, Junju, you got the Tadu. Tiny the speaker, the Kunzu Kogu, the man.
yeah, can they hear in the room?
How to make the sound? That's quite easy. This is the loudest. Dream paging on the Livudi Tarure. Oni? Nearly 200 sonda. The Kudu.
Yeah. So today Rinpoche is hoping to finish off the chapter of the joyous effort. He's hoping to complete it today.
Okay. The people here is not going to hear. So, what about the speaker?
Yes.
I'm going to check whether
You can turn the speaker up and then I'll mute when
this okay. Say something.
Hi there, everybody.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's good.
Okay, good.
You hear that, right? Oh. So that in that's the direction. That's so talented. Sim 뽑아다 댐버지고 레스 준비 제발로 심 뽑아다 댐버지고 그래 아니 뽑아다 댐베 된다다 삼당다 망부 예배 나르네 다 개체슈디 년별 돕게야지 년별 돕게지 아니 심 뽑아치야지 뽑아나는 초도 주고 디인데 아니 야발도 디 년별 또비 개버치비 탑시도 달라 다 단다디 쇼로고만 보지 송변 난로네 다 드린 아니 전시기 어쩌고 전시디 컨디스텐 고레스 어디가들샤
Right. So in this, so one of the main things in developing, in practicing the path, and in particularly in relation to a joyous effort, is the need for a kind of sense of confidence or courage, really, to and the best of all forms of courage would be the courage to be able to give rise to or to produce the antidotes to the antidotes to the things which need to be reversed and removed. And so in the verses which come now, there's a sort of explanation of the methods of how to do that in relation to mindfulness and kind of vigilance or mental introspection. So those are the verses which are coming now. Dirba. Dig up the trembling chasing course songer wa dirba.
Ore tati digabla tenshi ten di masudo.
Yeah, to rely on how to sort of draw ourselves close to or rely on mindfulness and vigilance in order to do that.
Actually, I think it's really kind of true. I need to search for Tia and okay, yeah, got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Some kind of this confidence of practice is needed, like the precious human rebirth. And I have this great teacher, guidance, precious human life. So lucky, or I don't know, the lucky is a good term here, but it's more like I should really appreciate what I have in this life. And so on, we can have this kind of a motivation to bring our kind of a positive pride or the confidence. But then this is like a bubble. It comes and goes. So now most important is once you have the antidote, once you have like you feel like the protection of the mind is with you. So then you will feel like I don't need to worry much. I can take care of myself. Even the world is going crazy. I can be strong because I have seen the reality. This encouragement is needed. And if you don't have this kind of a confidence, then how much you try to meditate, then it is beautiful. It gives you a kind of a peace for a moment. And then you will go back to the normal state, or where you're being like into the situation when it's difficult, you are going back to this kind of situation. So for that reason, I think Shantideva is putting emphasis on this, particularly in the 7th chapter, when he's talking about the enthusiasm, and which is like willing to do something. It's more like the ones we say, like the joy to do it, the joyous effort. And then especially this here, because you have the protection, you have the antidote with you. So what means? If you don't have the antidote, then how much your practice or your meditation strong, then it's like it comes and goes back to the state. So with the antidote, and now if I say directly, what kind of antidote we are talking is, once recognizing this, all the suffering comes from mistaken mind. And once you saw this mistaken mind, and beauty of seeing the mistaken mind is seeing the true nature of the mind. Once you see this, then you will feel like, oh, all this suffering comes that my mind actually needs on this, this kind of meditation, this kind of focus. But it looks like it just went to the another direction. And then it's like the water, the clean water needs to flow like this, but it went to somewhere there and it became dirty. The water itself is not dirty. It went to into something environment which it shouldn't go. So now you are kind of turning the point to the right direction, which means staying on the nature of the mind, seeing the clarity of the mind. And this is a kind of our hope. This is kind of our strength of the mind. Then, once you find this, I think then we are pretty much ready to go for solitarily meditation. Solitary doesn't mean like you need to go in the caves like a River, but if you can do it, fantastic. But we don't have a guarantee at the moment. So from here, your own, wherever you're staying, just try to see this kind of hope, this antidote. And then more you can see this is the answer to all the suffering. And then Shantideva is continuing. Verse number 71. Okay. Son Pona Suti Jibader, Tishu Jingi Tishin Dim, sir. Read it?
Okay, sure. Those who practice should be as attentive as a frightened man carrying a jar full of mustard oil, who is being threatened by someone with a sword and told that he will be killed if he spills just one drop.
Looks like a game, isn't it? Very serious game. Actually, it is. Nobody is there to kill you or to punish you. But now here, this is the point that we should feel. This is where we see to, I think, more to bring the full awareness. Normally, when we talk about analytical meditation, and we are trying to see why we need to bring the awareness. Now, in the single-pointed meditation, it's more like you have already found the answer. And now you wanted to put this into your habit. And now the distractions, and then especially this we call it desire realm, has its mind, it's full of distraction. So for that reason, and having this single-pointed meditation, now because now we need, from here, we need to go to the next chapter, which is the 8th chapter, which is about the concentration. So now we are in the kind of border of from actually we say I think Simon can help me with this. The Simon the Karsa Chengju Simjo Rinpoche Ma Jeban Jurji Jeban Yamba Maba Yang One Kondo Pepper Shock said in a rolla. Funny Junju Liu Chatang didn't do it.
Yeah.
Chezanga Junju Liu Tangbo Pinship Liu Ane Nuba Dipasha Liu Sumba Chanju Sim Yonso Sumi Liu Disum di Kariresana Ane Chanju Sim Majebadi Gibik Labjam did Liu today.
Yeah.
Ene Shiba Paye Aba Shishin Popo Soba Dumba Zunju di Ane Dirivat Kasore Gebadi Manyam Chanju Sim Sangudi Gebadi Manyam Bichetu Sumbe Liu Desure Tatene Liu Gebada Kuba Jubadi Ane Kone Kan get Sabati Kone Kondo Piegi Liu Indu Tene Chezanga Dumba Zunju Dan gave us something Poru de Ya Nitanda di Chenshi Tendang di Tak Labia di Gebada Dumba de Gebik Poru Ya to Lerudwa.
Yeah.
What did you care that?
So you'll all be very familiar with that verse, which speaks about how for where bodhicitta has not arisen, may be given rise to, and for the where bodhicitta has arisen, in order for it not to decline, but to go from strength to strength. This verse talks about traditionally the bodhicharya avatara has the 8, 9 or 10 chapters, depending on how we divide it up here, but the chapters are divided up in and condensed into those 3 kind of phases, or 3 kind of stages of development of bodhicitta. So, for instance, for someone who bodhicitta has not arisen, in order to give rise to or produce the bodhicitta in their continuum, then in the Bodhisattva's way of life, the first three chapters kind of give advice to and explain that phase. So discussing the qualities or benefits of developing the awakening mind, the first chapter. The second chapter of laying aside or sort of confession of our negativity. The third chapter of thoroughly taking up the awakening mind. Those 3 chapters talk about that first kind of stage or phase where the bodhicitta is not arisen, in someone who is not arisen to arise. Then the second sort of phase of that is in someone for whom the bodhicitta has arisen, in order for it not to decline. Then the next 4 chapters are spoken of. So the 4th chapter on heedfulness, Payu, the 5th chapter on the 5th chapter Payu, the 5th chapter on vigilance, the 6th chapter on patience, and the 7th chapter on joyous effort sort of contain advice and speaks to that second level where the bodhicitta has arisen, but and sort of practices for ensuring it doesn't decline. And then the last 8 Geba Guba Jubarwe Sumka.
Geba Guba Chubadi.
Yeah.
And Kondo Bible.
So then the last 3 chapters, the chapter on concentration and then or samadhi, and then the chapter on wisdom, the 9th chapter, the 8th chapter on concentration, the 9th chapter on wisdom, and the 10th chapter of dedication. They speak to that third kind of phase of the bodhicitta not only declining, but it going from strength to strength. So this is, as we come close to the end of the 7th chapter, we're at this kind of interface between a border between the 7th chapter and the 8th chapter. And so it's good to remember, it's good to remember how we take these last 4 chapters that have been expressed, and then moving forward to the chapters which talk about increasing or strengthening of the bodhicitta, going from strength to strength.
Younger, what do you translate for younger? Dinan kardo. Younger la kardo.
The oil, the mustard oil.
Mustard oil. Okay, mustard oil. This is good. So now the question really is, do you have the mustard oil?
Maybe better than olive oil if there's lots of Italians.
Oh, the most precious one. Actually, you have to know, because the mustard, don't put the oil itself, just put the seed, right?
Seed,
the round one.
The seed, yeah.
Then you have to be very careful, because it could be like once you lose focus, you will spill it. Not the oil like the bottle. Okay, so the you get the point. The round small
seeds, the seeds, yes.
The seeds, yes. So then here you have to be very so focused, like I should bring all my full awareness not to spill this. So most people, why there's no concentration? Because they feel like I need a concentration. And the biggest thing is missing, that there's not much to be loose. Getting the point here? So now the Shantideva is why this example is so powerful, is because in order to bring the awareness, you need to have something, to see something precious, that if we don't have the awareness, we might lose it, or we might spoil it, or we might never find it. All this sort of thing. Then it is more like nobody is coming to kill you or destroy you, but it's more like, if I don't protect my mind, I might kind of destroy my own happiness by my own mistaken mind, as I have done several times, billions and billions of times. So now, why I complain, why people complain, is all this reason. So now I need to stay focused on this, recognizing the mind, the nature of the mind, or the emptiness, or the selflessness. So then once your distraction is coming, it's more like, wait, I don't have a time for you now, because this is more necessary. So this is the whole picture like this, okay? That 72. David, and then having this thought automatically, because we our mind is so influenced. We have a very kind of a bad habit. The distraction comes like so quickly, because our attachment is very strong. And then why laziness? Because of the attachment. Because your interest is not that much. your interest is somewhere else. So it takes you away from the mind, from your position of the focus. So then the best way to, once you see the distractions coming, then how you can stop it like very quickly, then it's more like the Shantideva is sharing this verse number 72. Tewe bangdu ruwona jider ringbe dangbatar tishin ni dang nyamona nyodo teda dobor cha. 72, please.
Just as I would swiftly stand up if a snake came into my lap, likewise, if any sleep or laziness occurs, I shall quickly turn it back.
So this is also very good, especially laziness. Once you feel like, oh, it's so good, I do this. I haven't used this technique, to be honest, but sounds so good. Sounds so good. So it's more like, once you feel like I did quite a good reading and I could understand a little bit now. Oh, I can do it. And then you do something else, which is not related to this practice. Then you do any other steps. And then we are not doing as what we have wished to do. So in order to bring yourself on to this track, I think once you feel like you wanted to just go, or you wanted to touch the cell phone, okay, this is good. You are doing your kind of meditation, and then your cell phone brings a kind of a notification. You go like this, you stop at there, and then recite this Shantideva's notification. So saying like, you don't have a time for this now, because if this is emergency, what you are doing is so, you need to do it. You must do it. Otherwise, it will be too late. And then thinking about the impermanence. So now here, this is the point where we need to meditate on impermanence. This is where we need to think about the death. Most people in the West, some Tibetan lamas like me, they go and say, precious human life and the death will come, and not much having understand what is the most precious. The mustard oil, the seed of the mustard oil. Not explaining much about that, then you will say, well, somebody will kill you and destroy you. And then fear comes. And then they don't have see some kind of hope, a light. And then they only focus on death. Nobody will appreciate this. So now here, Shantideva's way of teaching is so good. So then once you are doing this homework, then you feel like, I need to do it now, because tomorrow is the examination. That's good, isn't it? Especially for me, it's really helpful because I do have this habit, like if something big thing is happening tomorrow, and I will have the best kind of sleep. Because I feel, I checked why this is coming. Sometimes it's really helpful, because when you think like, tomorrow is such a big thing, if I don't do it, and then I might, there's so much expectation, and then so much kind of wish to do something, and then your mind become like, can I do it? Can I do it so like 100% as I plan? And then my mind becomes so kind of like like, I don't want to do like this. I don't want, I want to take a rest because you have put so much on me, like my mind is kind of complaining. So it's the best sleep. Because you are not really enjoying how the things are going. That's how it is. But then once you start enjoying the practice, then the sleep, laziness, it comes. And then it's like the Milarepa himself. Remember the picture of the Milarepa that he has a butter lamp on his head. And then bring this concentration. And some meditators still in the Nepal and Spiti area, they have like they will have a long hair and then they put a string and put it somewhere there. And once he's going like this, it is the greatest reminder Buddha is pulling you. So then it helps. So then not sleeping, using your energy, and you feel like so healthy. So I think, and then I think this is the way we should do this practice.
Rinpoche?
Oh yeah.
Taya has a question.
Okay. Tia,
You may need to go to the translation.
Sure.
The Italian, yes.
Okay. Okay. Kelsey, Tia. No. The Maji Panam Jeju Jig said the Liu Tangbo Niba Sumbadri. Then Jawa Nyamba Meba Yang said the Shiba Ngaba Tukba Dumbat Padur. Dinda Resha. Yan Shambal Dinde Giri, Tanda Dinegi, Sindila Dinde Japsha. Okay. Rolla so. Hello, sir. So. Okay. Okay. That's 72 subject. Now that's the 72, 73. 원한 지들 또 제나스. 다 냐바 중화 제신 달라 맨 지니짱 달라 치디 민중화 대다 차시 유ring some 73 please.
Each time something unwholesome occurs, I should criticize myself and then contemplate for a long time that I shall never let this happen again.
Now when this is the where when the distraction still is occupying or it has a strong influence on you, and this is the time when you see a fault, and then a great master or the Kadamba master once said, like, once you see the fault, and then you shouldn't feel like, you shouldn't be soft on it. You should be like, I got you. I know you can be very tricky, very cunning. So now I recognize you. And then just don't think anything else. Just look at the what are the faults. This fault has so much consequences. And then you do a confession. It's the best confession. Remember the four antidotes, right? Top sheet, four powers, and thank you, top map, the power of support map. Then the Kajak Sunji top. How do you say that? Simon. Oh, Simon.
Hey.
Okay. Okay.
The power of it's something like the power of rejection. You can say it like that. That's probably the best translation. The power of rejection of those faults.
Or rejection, right? Or
Yeah.
the repudiation.
Repudiation.
In there, it says you have to, when you confess at the in the front of the power of support, then you have to particularly say, due to your kindness, I found this. Like with the doctor, like you told me to watch this, and this will be a very, very kind of like a very effective or very painful. Now I got this. So then two good things happening at the same time. One, you can see the kindness of the power of support. Could be your teacher, could be the Buddha, Bodhisattvas. And then secondly, it is the best way of confession. Not the confession like, oh, if I don't confess, then I will go to hell, or this something bad will happen to me. Not this. Seeing this, like, if I got it, now I saved myself. This kind of thing. Nyapa chungwa rishing dala many jinijans meva sidu zambe. Ani that ring di nyaba yimba hakogorata sije sosolia. Ani shuda tangba sosolia. Ani zevengne ani kajutang sevedi skulls theatre. Skull chetande ani kulons ma. Susuki amabe shibuji susul zava yodini jigi susuli yiji yorba duaji the maris lab goya de unetane ngalia kanye mayon chula buyore samna and kajudi niniti tingerba
Young Sonros.
ah
인지계 기아였으면 봐.
고송
무거워서 Young Sonro.
그데 디 차상 고마서 가고도 고
the Tamadi Chandigi last day.
뭐 제가 매버세도 와 달라 매네 진이 경세티
Oh, yeah.
디 매네세야디 수수수수리야 아니 거주당 배선을 치래 거주당 세디 아니 소소로 통중체지 계점에버체 디 소소로 거주당 세디 랑라 세와여버디 소소 어디시 아니 세와 디 토네 아니 소소리야 다 전시 최고르다 세디 전시 땡고를 세디 어디지 코베이나 아니 소소리야 아니 지금 마상고지기 아니 볼 지기 람 로발이야 드로비카블라 아니 지기 즉 주부 배조당에 라베야 소고도 소소 핑기도 와 누구 말와 통보네 오르드네시
So and in this in the verse here it uses this word in the second line just see how Stephen Batchelor translates it where he says I should criticize myself or it's sort of like to disparage or in some sense to put down myself or to disparage myself to criticize myself. But this kind of sense here is not in the kind of regular sense of scolding. It's not, or in a sense, it's not in the sense of scolding in the way that we would, in the way of putting ourselves down, sort of, when we disparage or someone, it doesn't mean the way in which it doesn't mean that we're putting ourselves down, but remembering, having a kind of loving kindness or care for ourselves we remember that it's important to rely on mindfulness and vigilance or mental introspection. And so it's important to remember on these things that so remembering that, having that real sense of care for ourselves. So it's not a sense of putting ourselves down, it's in the sense of having a care for ourselves, that then we feel that we will rely on mindfulness and vigilance. And so this should come across in the way that you have a very kind, a good-hearted, kind mother who is sort of perhaps scolding or being a little harsh in some extent to a child of theirs, which is doing something incorrect or following the wrong way. But it's all done within this context of care. So they're not actually putting them down, but there's a sort of sense of a reminder of the need to rely on mindfulness and vigilance. Yeah.
And also, I will give a little tip, because sometimes the distraction comes, and then you say it very loudly. This is a distraction. You are going into a trap. Say it very loudly. Like when you see, like you are wondering who is taking my favorite Parmigiano, and then you see this a rat coming out from the hole and taking it. Then you just like say like a thief, like just it comes very simultaneously, very strongly, and it will. Why doing this? Two benefits. One, you will scare the thief away. One, it's like up to now you have so much in here, it will just go away like this. One time I checked with my teacher, I have a strong attachment. Then I felt like I did a little bit of homework, how it comes, when it comes, and when you are into this, you don't see any kind of a mistake. You feel like it's so normal, so good. And then slowly, it brings so much kind of a mess after this. So then I checked with my teacher. I see some faults, but I cannot just take this away. So please save me. I kind of begged my teacher. And then my teacher said, a very nice story. Said when he had attachment issues, and then sometimes he go to the cemetery. And then when this attachment is so strong, just staying in the cemetery does not move your this permanent 1 inch. And then what he said, then he start doing the calling the teacher from far away. Calling the Lama from far away. And then right after that, then he will just visualize the teacher in front of him, and then just say like very strongly, this is really, and complaining about this attachment to his imaginary Lama. And the amazing thing is, once you complain, and then your mind becomes quite calm. And then he can the attachment does not go very like vanish very quickly, but he feels that kind of attachment does not have a kind of so much impact on him. So I can relate this to our normal life, like when we are having a problem, and what thing would we do is some people will try to take drugs, alcohol, and some people what they do is call their best friends, say like, do you have a time tonight to meet? I have a problem to share. Some people are like, no. Some good friends, they will then be there. And sometimes you are not ready to, you are actually not ready to take any advice from your friend. But more you wanted to throw out your problem. That's what somehow we say, borrowing the shoulder of your friend to cry over, I don't know. Cry on? Okay. And then somehow that your friend just listening to it saying, oh yeah, you went through such a rough time. Yeah, I can feel your pain. Just saying this gives you such a mind of calmness. This sort of thing. Shantideva is talking, yeah. Okay. And jida never the temple company you day on the 73. So you are the person who is going to listen your complaints now. Just don't annoy other friends. Okay. Okay. Let's check. The name 73, 74. Jidder Jigbele la Bebersham. Jidder neck of the Dala, Chamba Company, Gurushe, duty in a tabam, Jigbel Lenin, Dover Charles. 74, please.
Likewise, in all these situations, I shall acquaint myself with mindfulness. With this motivation as a cause, I shall aspire to meet with teachers or accomplish the tasks they assign me.
Okay. 다디나를 지들이 예범이 중앙의 중앙 스텝에 쳐도 파여는 시신 투로랑을 수업에 내가 되달 템포 공부니도 주로시 삼배 꾸는게 주디니 태과 침배기 왜 신이의 태바 대마치 가서 대마타 마체양 담받는 제수 땜베 된 리신 태베레니 더버쳐 now once your mind is kind of like calm, and then now you need to bring this awareness.
I read that. I'll just read that quickly.
Okay.
The comment. So Rinpoche read from the commentary. Hang on a sec. He read from the commentary of Gyaltsab Je. No, sorry, from Gyaltsab Je, which is the commentary to the 74th verse, where it reads, thus, in order for faults not to arise and to eliminate those already arisen, I shall meditate on mindfulness on these occasions that call for sincere conscientiousness and introspection. Through the cause of the motivation saying this to oneself, I shall desire suitable actions valid according to the teachings when I meet with the Guru, Mahayana Guru, or even if I do not meet with the Guru immediately.
태워 첨부 전주 선배기 내내고 거를 쓰고 있도 아니 전주 선배지기 아니 간이는 동행 차단 그래 시고 유매 아니 지기 타바르도 전주 선배기 미유디 심지 탐지의 돈도 상제적 고반 터번나 지마로 냐벨로디 인도 선배 텔레바베야 삼로 자침부지 당연 유도 선배 대다 탐지 아니 개회 신인 지기 무슨 연한 여봐 그때 매바이나야 아니 대유 송부에 담바 들어봐 아니 담바 텔 때니 아니 디나노 개치슈 직비 내는 더버차 송만나 신체지게 강 라마당 라메기 당아 데 직비 람세디 디나로야 아니 제수 때문에 된 직신 세치마도 세우람도 뒤쪽에 가르치는 단다 아니 당아 라메 제르무치고 송만나신 아니 수수리야 페마벤세디 아니 조 전주선 비저바 이내리 람라라비아디 컨디지적으로 시도 아니 심규로 코드코드 펜버섬식 어디 시부지를 했었네 시부지 현토래 개요 마리스 개치슈디 아니 당화 데데디 템버디 아니 하바도 지금 따다다 겨울을 무치기 양내 양동 아주로 송해야 돼 아니 내가 란주 중심부 중심부던 내버도 띄운 거래스 중심부도 띄운 거래스 때도 담배 안에 하바도 지름 붙이기 굴레견다 안에 꾸디언 론징기 굴레견다 안에 배 사제 거니 릭수 마치베게 달 라만도도 상말로기 아니 중심부 제고야티 제상가 묘모 인연부터 당고 담가도 상마로 중심부 당 튼세디 직벨람네 때는 바탕디 인도 담배 당화 제수 때문에 된 리칭 세대 리버더 튠바 세주 코토나야 우요 레성도 저는 리칭 테베르네 더버 차고 따디는 디제수 바 장제네 세바템보 전에 예고를 세치르샤
And so in this in relation to this kind of commentary into this commentary that Joseph J has given here on this 74th verse, then we shouldn't just be thinking in terms of not only in terms of just how as each of the different complications and difficulties of our lives arise, and the advice which is given to us in these great texts on how to deal with the each difficulty as it arises on its own, but we have to sort of think sort of more broadly in terms of a context of the Mahayana path, and how these the great beings are not only thinking just in terms of a kind of kind of short term of just removing individual difficulties as they arise in our lives, but also that overriding motivation which drives the Bodhisattva, which is that it's really not okay as long as all of the sentient beings are in a kind of state of suffering, but as long as all sentient beings have not attained the unsurpassed state of enlightenment, then that's really not okay, and therefore that's the kind of motivation that this kind of broader motivation, in the fourth, and so in relation to this, in the fourth line of the root text of this verse, of verse 74, because it's speaking here about with this motivation as a cause, I shall aspire to meet with the teachers or accomplish the task they assign me. So drawing that kind of motivation, that it's not okay that I have to work for the welfare of sentient beings until all of them have attained the unsurpassed state. And then this also brings in we're talking about in relating this to the commentary that is here in Gyaltsab Je, we're talking about how whether so there's talking about the instructions of the guru. So whether that is the direct instructions of a guru, or whether that is the direct encountering of a guru and receiving advice or instructions from them, or if they're not directly manifestly present, receiving the instructions which they've left behind, for instance, the instructions by great lamas such as Joyous Rinpoche, who've left us instructions, and understanding how to practice the path in relation to those instructions, and how they benefit, or analyzing whether they benefit oneself or not. So whether that's directly received from a guru or received from afar through the instructions of the great beings, and our engagement, as His Holiness has said many, many times, what is crucial in this process is our engagement with the great texts and the great traditions and the great texts. And only through this kind of sincere engagement with those texts can we really understand the hard work and the effort and hard work and the amazing hard work that's great masters such as Joyous Rinpoche, such as Longchenpa, and all of the all of the different traditions of Tibetan Buddhism which have come down to us, but also having those instructions. But then I also think that it's those the teachers and direct instructions and the teachings which have been carried on from them. And then it says Rigved Lenin Durbar Chas, which is in the last line of in the last line of verse 74. And now it doesn't really come across in the Rigved Lenin Durbar Chas. So in the way that it's been translated by Stephen Batchelor is to say that to meet with the teachers and to accomplish the task that they assign me. But what I want to say to you is to more treat it in that way that His Holiness talks about, that this is in terms of, because in Gyaltsab's commentary it says something which is reasoned, has supportive reasons behind it and is kind of philosophically valid. So then engaging in those actions that spring out of so you have the tradition of the instructions, but then you also have the path in terms of what is concordant with reasoning and reasoning and validity, a lot kind of logical validity. So I think that's also an important aspect to add. Gonda.
That's why I asked my friends to recite this particularly special dedication that we have the day and night. Do you have with you?
Yeah.
This particularly what we at the end of our every class recite this. So for this reason. So then we have a kind of a joy.
Jitta Turba Dirbe, Jitta Turba.
Jitta Turba Tuna Rinpoche. Yinda Tendo Tsushin Radan, Samjana, Samjo, Namjuli, Tesum Chever Show, Siduzambe, Morameti Gagudu, Ani, Ravayanti Gagdua.
So there's this prayer that a prayer, a kind of aspirational prayer that is recited that Rinpoche has asked us to recite as part of the dedication prayers of his teachings, which reads, it's the prayer that reads in Tibetan, Jitta Turba Dinla Rigbe Shis. So having thoroughly investigated in accord with all that I have heard, day and night, through the four reasonings, mind born of reflection on these topics of contemplation, may this discernment sever all doubts.
So this is why we are doing and try to remind that this is a very powerful practice and prayer, because it's more like I'm not going to give up. I have a doubt, and then there is the wisdom sword, the Manjushri sword, which is the wisdom I'm going to use. That is more like you're going to use your own intelligence to bring out the doubts and then see the clarity. So this is why we are doing it. So Shantideva is kind of giving us this kind of hint here. Okay, now 75. 지네 레지 아르네 탐제라네 투여바 대답하여 땀전데 너닌 당화 양을 차스.
In order to have strength for everything, I should recall before undertaking any action the advice in the chapter on conscientiousness, and then joyfully rise to the task.
So now this is more like once you have kind of confidence. In here in the commentary, it says, before doing any kind of virtuous action, you need to have a confidence that you can do it. It's not like it sounds so good. Can I do it? Okay, let me try. This is not going to happen like this. The result might be you might stop after 4 or 5 minutes. If you meet a friend, you might say like, yeah, let's hang out. But once you feel like I can do it, and I feel confidence in doing this, so this is we can call believing yourself. Then what after that you feel is and then slowly what when we talk about in the in the shamatha, in the special concentration part, we say the plancy sim shindu jangwa.
Yeah, the mind, the appliancy of body and mind.
And then especially mind plancy, more like you like 지금도 교바도 줄래 온도 전에 아니 랑수수 들이야 지금 샘디 봐 치료를 토원도 전에 토두고도 뒤쳐버디 견데 친 나로를 두 아니 샘디 지금야 진주주주 거시다시다 니 손으로 지금 셀로만 셀로도 대원도 전에 양 들이야 고박이 뒤쪽에 봐 님이 다시 님이 다시 양 나로를 두벌어서 뒤쪽이 슈구 셈 레스로 마치야 셈디 비겔이야 쪼아간도 시지게 수수기 비겔이 견렀다 들이 연된도 답에 디기 두부디기 셈디 비겔이 수수한 게 네베 아니 개외 미과가 템포데스 직해 아니 이버디 류들이 제상가 수수기 샘디 가수 템부 수업에 다가라는 되기 아니 류리야 아니 랑신기 다 진지랍스는 연구만데 다 류들이야 랑신기 아니 지게 그소리 아니 메디치 배나 수수 너가 여차비 죽을라 아니 그러지니 샘을 깔래 큐니면 류라 하람 깔래 메용하는 거지 이 하람 땡겨버려 배짱가 하란 주기 빼도 잖아 어디 캐나라다 아니 인지게 좀 쉬어.
Yeah. So in terms of developing a kind of a mental focus, a stability on the objects, which these virtuous objects that we wish to kind of be able to focus and concentrate on, and then there's sometimes a disturbance to that, which comes through either a kind of mental agitation or excitement, or a kind of sinking or dullness, and these can be both subtle and subtle or gross. And so the mind gets kind of disturbed by these things and drawn away from its focal point, which in our case is the wish to be able to focus on virtuous contemplations. So, for instance, if the mind is agitated, then we find ways to bring our mind back so that it's not kind of the mind is not kind of radiating out to all of these distractive objects. And then, of course, if our mind has a kind of sinking, dull kind of sense to it, or for even a sort of in a gross level, a kind of sleepiness, then again applying the antidotes to that. So this comes through. This occurs through understanding the faults and understanding the faults of the unwanted side of things, and then understanding the qualities or benefits of the things that we're doing, and by doing that, then we are able to to get rid of these mental excitement and kind of mental sinking or dullness, and we're able to focus clearly on our desired object, virtuous object. So that's the sort of mental side of things. But then if we, in terms of the kind of physical or the bodily or physical side, then if we then have a strong, stable mind, which is not overly influenced by agitation or dullness, then I can't say that the body is blessed, but it somehow kind of has this naturally has this sense of being, we can't quite say blessed, but we could say that it has a kind of freedom from difficulties. For instance, when there are things that we really are focused on and desire, then not only is there generally we don't have a sense of any mental difficulty in striving for them, but also I think perhaps there's a sense in which we don't have the physical difficulties at that time when we really have desire or desire for something.
Okay. For an example, when let me ask you a question. What is the best exercise, like physical exercise? What is the best? Swimming? Swimming is good. Walking is good. Running is good. So, like, let's say swimming is known as one of the best. And then walking is also be known as one of the best. So swimming or the walking, if you compare these two, what you say, which is the best? Swimming. Okay. I saw an article saying walking is much better. And because it says stress zero. Because it's more like your body will accept this. So like swimming, maybe you wish to do it, but it has so much brings us stress inside. So like walking, especially like with the friends chit-chatting and then going for hours and hours, this is much better. They say it's stress zero. Like running, jogging, and everything has a huge stress in there. So like one part of brain is like enough. So that means if your body 100% goes with your mind, which means your mind can occupy your whole sense of the body. So then your body has no time to complain about it. It goes with it. So this is what we can say the power of the concentration is something like this. You will say like, if you enjoy so much, then you say, what? It's already 5 o'clock. It's like you talk with your best friend for like 3-4, like it's a nice movie you watch and you feel like very short, and there's no body ache, and you don't know that you have a body or not. Okay, so this could be the one way of thing. Then 76. Jidar lung and draw down one is Xingbe ju Wang Ju, the Xin Zhou Wang Ju the Tedanan and Juber Jur 76.
Just as the wind blowing back and forth controls the movement of a piece of cotton, so shall I be controlled by joy, and in this way accomplish everything.
Now this is the one of the one source that normally I always say the practitioner should always ask, where is the joy? If you are doing a prostration, where is the joy? If you are doing any commitments, why did you take commitment? Somebody says you have to do it. Why should you do? Why did you do this? From the what is that? I forgot my English. From the beginning, why didn't you reject? You can reject it very nicely, respectfully. It doesn't make any sense to me. This is a good answer. Then if your friend has felt something really that he enjoyed it, then he will share his experience with you. So most of us, or like people like me, sometimes we go with the kind of a tradition, how the kind of how the others do, and then we follow it. And then we don't enjoy that much. And then we have too much. And then we feel like, well, I don't know. And then if there's so much kind of you have something that you didn't enjoy, and you have something more that of this, and then maybe one day you might say, I didn't enjoy practicing Dharma. Or maybe one can say, Dharma didn't help me. You should stop from the beginning, taking this kind of commitments, because the Shantideva, the great Shantideva has said, where is the joy? So the last one, he said, it's more like the like the cotton then
going back and forth. Yeah, so he's saying I should be controlled by joy.
Oh, controlled by joy. Normally we say, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to do this, because I'm under the sway of negative emotions. Then it came. All right. Now we should feel I'm under the sway of the positive energy here, this great joy, and I'm really enjoying. So this is the point where all the beginners and who is all on the path, they all has to ask, do I have this? If not, then you need to undo, click it, and then build once again. It's more safe, staying in a safe zone. Okay, so now we stop here today, and we finished it kind of almost. But then when I read a little bit of this, just the class started, I felt like, well, this I will read again, and then in our next class, before starting the 8th chapter, kind of a few minutes, I will explain a little bit of this. So this looks really good. Okay. So thank you very much, everybody. Dedication, please.
Having thoroughly investigated and recorded all that I've heard day and night through the four reasonings, mind-born of reflection on these topics of contemplation, may this discernment sever all doubts. In the land encircled by snow mountains, you are the source of all happiness and good. All powerful generous intents and get so, please remain in samsara ends.
Coming? You can do it from here.
In all my lives, never separated from perfect gurus, may I enjoy the magnificent Dharma. By completing the qualities to the grounds and paths, may quickly attain the state of Vajradhara. I fully dedicate all these virtues to be able to train just like the hero Manjushri who knows reality, and just like Samantabhadra as well. I fully dedicated my roots of virtue with the dedication praised as the best by all the gone beyond victorious ones of the 3 times in order to have good conduct. With my heart going out with great compassion in whatever direction the most precious teachings have not yet spread or once spread have declined, may I reveal this treasure of happiness and aid.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Rinpoche.
Rinpoche. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rinpoche.
Thank you very much.
Ciao.